Hey there everyone, welcome to Crappy Reviews, the home of no rules reviews. What's no rules reviews mean exactly? Well, it means whatever the hell I want it to mean. I don't adhere to your set professional standards or any of that nonsense. It's all raw, my own personal thoughts and opinions. And if you don't like it, don't watch it. It's simple. So don't be that guy that watches and then complains about optional content. Yeah, don't be that guy. Or girl. Don't do it. I'm talking to you. Okay. Today I'm reviewing the highly anticipated PS4 exclusive Horizon Zero Dawn. Now this is a Guerrilla Games game, and they're the ones behind the less than stellar Killzone franchise. That's right. One thing Killzone always did was look absolutely gorgeous, but it really did lack any depth or story-driven narrative. It was always bogged down by mediocre characters and rehashed plots by old action movies and that kind of thing. Marketing your games as a Halo killer probably didn't help much matters either, so there you go. At the end of the day, they've moved on from that franchise and onto an RPG genre. Those that can't do first-person shooters teach or make RPGs instead. It's really simple. Now graphically, Horizon Zero Dawn is on a completely another level. Easily a top 10 best looking game this generation. Amazing lighting and effects throughout the game. The environments are all amazing to look at, and even the character models are all well detailed to a stunning, crisp level. There's no real performance issues to be found either. Maybe a little pop in here or there, but nothing much that would hamper the gameplay experience. Now during cutscenes, there's this odd googly-eyed effect sometimes that a lot of the characters can have, and they seem to sway back and forth or do like a weird head bob. But, you know, that is kind of what it is. Could be that this isn't a motion capture heavy game, but it just looks odd in comparison to what we've seen a lot these days. Now from a pure graphical standpoint view, this game is really top tier. Like, you have different tiers of these types of things, and this is a top tier good looking game. There's also a day-night cycle and weather that adds a lot of atmosphere to the game as well. So absolutely stunning, good performance as well. Now the gameplay is a mashup of familiar games that you've probably played already. The most glaring would be Rise of the Tomb Raider and Far Cry Primal or Far Cry 4. It's a third-person perspective, and you can gather resources much like in Rise of the Tomb Raider to craft arrows, healing salves, and like outlets and outfits and things like that. There's some climbing and a bit of platforming as well, and there's also zip lines much like Far Cry or Tomb Raider. And there's also skill trees much like Far Cry or Tomb Raider. You mostly sneak around though, but you can full-on confront your enemies as well. But actually, if you do this, you'll end up getting quickly overmatched by a lot of enemies if you're not careful. Now, in the game, you use this device called a focus that helps you tag and track where enemies pass lead, and you can actually gauge their track. Even the humans apparently walk and follow a specific track. It's kind of weird, but it works out pretty well for the game. Obviously, the robots are robots, so they might walk a track, but being able to track the human tracks and they kind of just like a train just go around and around the same is kind of weird, but hey, it is what it is. Now you have various weapons, including a spear for up close attacks and a bow and arrow for ranged, and you even have fire arrows at your disposal. Now you also have traps and tripwires you can use to help bring down larger enemies in the wild, and you can scavenge down enemies, humans, animals, robots, and you loot them for resources that you use for crafting. There's main quests and side quests. Everything helps you to level up your character. Dealing with merchants is a good way to kind of expand your wardrobe or get new weapons and things like that. And some of them are scattered throughout the game, can really give you awesome weapons. Now as for the story, it's very interesting mystery, and I don't want to give away too much, but finding out how everything came to be the way it is in like this kind of post-apocalyptic world is really cool. And if you're smart, you'll wait until after the end credits if you beat the game for a cool surprise. All in all, the narrative was fantastic. You play as Aloy, who is a very good, strong female character, and right from the start, you're an outcast. And during the game, you're trying to uncover why exactly that is. That's just one of the many mysteries of this game. And there's also a wheel dialogue to pick from, so that like when you're doing your voice options, you can like pick them. But it never really feels like it matters what you're saying. But I will say that even despite that, the story is top-notch writing from start to finish. So there is that. At the end of the day, Horizon Zero Dawn is a really good first effort into an RPG genre, and Guerrilla Games should be commended for that. A very solid game indeed. But as with any game, it definitely has some things I consider to be an issue, the most troubling of which would be the bad voice acting sprinkled throughout the game. A lot of it evokes the first Resident Evil voice acting, if you know what I mean. The save point feature is also extremely outdated for an RPG. You should be able to save your game wherever and whenever you wish. The side quests can get boring and repetitive at times, but for the most part the game is really fun and one of the best efforts in a mainstream AAA exclusive that Sony has put forth on the PS4 to date. Lock that in. It's a definitive must play if you own a PS4. Horizon Zero Dawn gets a fantastic 8 out of 10. Please remember to comment, rate, subscribe. Rack 'em up. Crapgamer out.